Hello, everybody. Welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike Gall, and as always, I'm joined by
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
Woo, that's right. And to celebrate Spidey time, we have a Spidey-ish pick. Want to tell everybody what we're reviewing?
Today, Michael, we will be reading Peter Porker, The Spectacular Spider-Ham, issue 2 from 1985.
That's right. And just so everyone knows, the reason we did issue 2 is because issue 1 has already been reviewed on Here Comes the Spider-Cast, number 60.
Yeah, that is correct.
Check that out.
Because last week on the show, Michael, I said I like to be hip and cool with the kids, and there was a new Spider-Man movie coming out, and I was so hip and cool with the kids, I got the name of the movie wrong. I think I said it was Far From Home. That was the other one, right?
No Way, it's No Way Home.
It's a No Way Home. No Way Home. So, did you see this new Spider-Man movie?
Spoiler alert, yes I did. I did see it.
And
that's it.
Yeah, I guess, well, there's a lot of spoilers out there, I guess, but it's about the multiverse.
Right.
And all the different versions of Spider-Man show up. And one of them is the aforementioned Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, right?
I don't think he shows up in that one, no.
Are you serious?
Wait, hold on. So you haven't seen the movie?
No.
Wait a minute. No. Peter Porker does not show up. Peter Porker shows up in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, the animated
cartoon.
movie. But he doesn't show up in this one?
No, not at all, no.
How is that? What the fuck were they doing? How does that not happen?
No, he does not. That's all I'm going to say. He does not show up. No.
Oh, you're ribbing me.
No, I'm serious. Where did you even hear that?
I didn't hear it anywhere.
Oh, well, no, he does not.
I just assumed
that
Peter Porker would be there.
No, sorry. Sorry to burst your bubble. No Peter Porker.
Not even like in a post-credit thing? Not like a joke or anything?
Nope.
Mike L., what were they doing? How could you not do that?
I don't know. I guess this review's a bust, right?
Yeah, the only reason I picked this book was because I thought for sure Peter Porker was showing up in that goddamn Spider-Man movie.
Nope, no Peter Porker, sorry.
Oh, what a letdown.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say, though. There's no Peter Porker.
I just don't understand how they could make a movie with all the different Spider-Men in the world, and they don't have Peter Porker.
Well, maybe they're saving him for the next one. I don't know.
Did they have other Spider-Men from the Spider-Verse pop in? Like the Spider-Man Noir or anything?
Okay, can I just say, spoiler alert, if you have not seen this movie, stop watching, eject, whatever. But I'll tell you right now, only 2 Spider-Mans show up.
Oh, Tobey
Only
Maguire
2.
and that Garfield kid?
Right. There's no Spider-Man Noir, there's no Spider-Ham, there's no Miles Morales, nothing. It's just those 2 actors.
Oh.
However, it's interesting you should mention that because right now I'm Googling and it says... Oh, forget it. No, it's just clickbait. They said he was in a deleted scene, but he's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Journalism on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a miss, right? Like not having Peter Porker, at least like as a joke, a throwaway little thing.
But
like maybe when the credits are rolling, just have them swing by.
Yeah, that would have been a great post-credit sequence. You're right, but they didn't. So.
Oh, I am devastated, Michael. I don't know if I can continue doing the show.
What a downer.
The only reason I picked this damn book was because I thought it tied into the movie. But hey, I did see that Spider-Verse thing a while ago. That was good. That was entertaining.
It was really good, yes. It was arguably the best Spider-Man movie. Although I do like the Tobey Maguire ones more, but this one is arguably better. Into the Spider-Verse.
Well, yeah, I've never seen any of these new Spider-Mans. The old, with this Tom Holland's fellow.
You can, this is maybe sacrilegious, but you can skip them. They're not, I don't think they're great, personally.
That's what our buddy Kevin Jank told me as well. He said, yeah, they're not that great. Because I didn't even bother going to watch him there. But I like him, though, as Spider-Man. Like, when I see him in the Captain Americas and the Avengers and all that, I'm like, oh, that's a good Spider-Man, that kid. But, I don't know.
The thing is like the younger generation, the Becca generation, they think those movies are the second coming of Christ, you know? So don't ask me what I think. I think they're okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll give them a whirl. I don't know. But, hey, spoiler alert, my boy shows up in this movie there, right?
Which boy?
Daredevil? Yeah.
I can't say.
All right.
Let's go see the movie.
So let's get to Peter Porker.
Woo!
This concept was created by Larry Hama and Tom DeFalco, and then the artist Mark Armstrong came in to do the design of the character. Have you ever heard the story about how he was created?
Not really, no.
Well, apparently, he's your boy, Larry Hama, right? You love Larry Hama.
Oh yeah, I love Larry Hama, love G.I. Joe. Yep.
But Tom DeFalco, there seems to be mixed reports on Tom DeFalco. Some people like him. A lot of people seem not to like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the editor-in-chief for several years, so you're bound to make some enemies, right?
In like the 90s, right?
Yeah, 80, he followed Jim Shooter, so he was, I think, 86 or 87 to like 91-ish, I think, or 92.
Oh, is that it? I thought he was deeper into the 90s.
Maybe longer, yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm just guessing. Anyway, so this was in the early 80s. This was like around 83-ish, I think this conversation happened. And at the time, apparently a lot of people thought that Marvel was going to like kind of go like with Disney. Remember how Disney had all those Disney stores everywhere?
Right.
And, people thought Marvel was going to do that. They were going to have their own stores, their own comic book stores, and they were going to sell merchandise and all this other stuff. But everyone inside Marvel laughed at that speculation because, well, they were a big company in terms of comic book companies. They were not a big company in terms of companies. You know what I mean? Like they were still small potatoes compared to like Disney and stuff like that.
Sure.
So internally, they all laughed at it, and they realized it was all a joke. That was never going to happen. So DeFalco and Hama were sitting around one day, and they're just shooting the shit about that, how ridiculous it is. And they said, well, maybe we should come up with like little animal versions of our heroes. And they just started passing back ideas. And DeFalco said, hey, how about Peter Porker, the spectacular Spider-Ham? And it just became a little joke. But then someone else started walking by, and they said, hey, that's not a bad idea. You might want to think about that. So they went to Jim Shooter with it, and they said, hey, we want to do a one-off book with just animals versions of our heroes for kids. And Jim Shooter said, hey, if I said yes, will you get out of my office? He says, all right, good, do it. No, get the hell out of here. So yeah, they did it. And that book was called Marvel Tales, but it was spelled Tails.
Yes, we reviewed that as well, yep.
Oh, you did? I didn't read it. Do you remember the other heroes in that book, Michael?
Well, coincidentally, I don't usually cheat, but I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Yeah, okay.
It's the Hulk Bunny.
Yeah, I don't get that. They really dropped the ball there. They could have come up with something there as a pun on the name, because everyone else has a pun, and then Hulk Bunny. What?
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. You're right. Then there's Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America.
Well, I guess they all have to be animals, but you're right. Like, they could have had a better pun than just Hulk Bunny, right? Yeah. And then there's also, of course, Goose Rider, my favorite.
Yeah, Goose Rider. And Peter Porker. And they teamed together. So how was that story? Because I have never read it. Was that?
It was fine. It was fine. Yeah.
So that came out in 1983, and that was it actually proved somewhat successful. So then Marvel in 85, or I think it was in 85 when they started Star Comics, which we talked about with Alf when we did the Alf issue. Marvel started their own little publishing branch, Star Comics, for kids, books for kids. So they said, hey, here, we'll bring back Peter Porker because he sold some books. So we'll launch Peter Porker, and that's what they did. And Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. So with Star Comics, the series ran from 1985 to 1987, a span of 17 issues. It was published bi-monthly.
Right. So it's actually a pretty long time it lasted.
Yeah, when you think about it. Yeah. After cancellation, Spider-Ham became a regular backup story in Marvel Tales, Tales, and he had 32 appearances between issues 201 and 247, which I don't remember at all. Do you remember that, Michael?
Yeah, I didn't know they existed until we reviewed the first one in our show.
Wow, look at you guys really digging deep into Peter Porker. Now, did you do all that because of the Spider-Verse, or why did you do all that?
No, it's just because we review every 80s Spider-Man comic, and it came to the point where, like, that month of Marvel Tales, whatever month that was, it was just chronologically a new story. And so I thought, well, why don't we review that and then also do Spider-Ham number 1 and Marvel Tales number 1? So that's what we did. And we actually had the Marvel artist Jay Fosgate on. Jay Fosgate's drawn Peter Porker. Peter Porker. Yeah. So we had him on our show to help us review it. And he's a big fan of these creators, the ones we're going to talk about. So
look at you with like guests.
Yeah. Real guests.
Impressive. Yeah, real guests, not just people we know.
Right.
Peter Porker also appeared in What the? Issues 3, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 26.
That's right.
And over the years, he's made other appearances. I guess who was the fella who kind of brought him back? At least I read that. Slott or whatever. What's his name?
Dan Slott. Right? Dan Slott, yeah.
I think he was kind of the guy that brought him back into relevance.
I think so, yeah. It could be.
I think from what I read, he brought him back into a video game that he had a hand in.
Okay.
And then that led him becoming popular again. So he's been popping up in comic books ever since.
That's good. I mean, that's the thing is, I think for a while Marvel was embarrassed by these types of characters, but now they embrace them more, Yeah, as they should.
Now, do you know, I guess in issue 15 of this here Spider-Ham series, they reveal his origin. Do you know?
Okay.
Do you know his origin?
No, I don't.
It's all right. So there was a pig named May Porker. And,
I think I heard this, but go ahead. Yep.
She was doing something with some, I don't know if she was doing experiments, or there's some radioactive hair dryer or something was going on. I don't know. But she became radioactive and went a little squirrely, and she bit a spider named Peter the spider, and he turned into Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. So instead of a radioactive spider biting a human, in this universe, a radioactive pig bit a spider, and that's how we get Peter Porker.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Creative stuff there. I like it.
And I guess May became his benefactor, like his de facto aunt. And
okay.
So like Aunt May or whatever. But anyway. So there you go. That's the origin of Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. Anything else you'd like to mention about him, Michael?
I don't know. Only that I've always liked the character. I remember I was actually at a comic convention and I was interviewing an artist named what's her name? Agnes Garboska. And she's someone who's also drawn Peter Porker, and the nerdiest guy on earth walked up to her and was like, "You forced me to read Peter Porker," with like a smile on his face, like, "You rascal." And I'm thinking, dude, you've got nothing to hide. Like, who are you trying to impress here, buddy? Anyway.
Yeah, Peter Porker is pretty awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. He's awesome. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe describe what Peter Porker looks like for the kids.
So, it's essentially, he is he's obviously short. Like, he's about, 2 or 3 feet tall, I guess.
Yeah, I guess everyone. We should say this world is all talking animals.
Right. And so he's humanoid looking, but he has, a big giant pig snout. We're talking about the Spider-Man, like when he's in a Spider-Ham costume, right?
Yeah, the Spider-Man. Yeah.
So he's got kind of like, thicker than average legs and like big feet and, kind of like almost like the physique of like I don't want to say a midget, but like a little person or a baby, right? Because he's got big arms and big hands, but like a tiny body. Like I said, a big pig snout and pig ears, and then he's got the spider eyes like Spider-Man does. But then he also has additional spider eyes on the end of his snout, which I think is really funny.
Yeah, like the nostrils on the end of the snout, he has 2 little eyes there too, and like the logo is kind of like a pig-shaped spider, and on the back it's kind of like a bigger pig-shaped upside-down spider, right?
Right.
But the one thing that annoys me though is how come they didn't, like when he turns sideways, you really see like his snout. It's just basically all red and there's no webbing on it. Why didn't they put the webbing on the snout?
Webbing?
Yeah, on the snout.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the cover there?
I'm looking at. Oh, sorry, I was looking at number 1. Let me jump to number 2.
Oh yeah.
Let me see here. What in tarnation? Oh, I see what you mean. It's kind of like they kind of like skimped out on the details. You mean?
Yeah, they did it throughout the issue too. Like they don't put the webbing on the sides of his nose. It's just
that's obviously that's just a design thing. They must have just, I don't know why, but they purposely designed it that way.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like,
yeah, that's kind of odd. Yeah. So, do you know who specifically designed the actual look?
I think Mark Armstrong.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like he was listed among the creators, so I'm guessing.
Okay. Now, do you know who drew the cover to number 1 of Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham?
Yeah, I do not know number 1.
None other than Michael Golden.
Oh, your boy.
Yeah.
Your boy, Michael Golden. Yeah, so the creators here for this issue the writer is Steve Skeats, right?
Yes. who used to write Aquaman and who's my friend on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, let's see if he's still your friend after this.
Yeah.
And then, so that's a spoiler. And then the artist is the aforementioned Mark Armstrong. We'll talk about them afterward. We'll
cool. All right.
Book now. So yeah, the cover of issue 2, Michael.
Yes, we got Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. This is a great logo. Like the Spider-Ham logo itself is based on the Spider-Man logo, specifically from Marvel Tales, which was always one of my favorite Spider-Man logos. But anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I guess what makes it different, like the webbing between the letters and stuff?
No, not that. It's just that it's three-dimensional and it's curved, but it's not curved like the Amazing Spider-Man logo. It's curved in a different way. It's hard to describe.
It's curved like downward.
Right.
Toward the viewer.
Right, instead of kind of outward. It's different, yeah.
But there is some like webbing between some of them.
Yes. And then instead of, let's be clear, this is Star Comics. This is an imprint of Marvel Comics. Yeah. So the top left is the Star Comics, and then there's a little box below the corner box that says Marvel. And then we got Spider-Ham swinging into the box. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Kind of like kicking as he swings. It's a good shot. And then on the cover here, we've got Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, confronting the parody version of the Vulture. And what's he called in this? The Buzzard?
No, I can't remember what he's called, but we'll get to him eventually.
Yeah. And he's standing in a box. What's that?
He's a possum, too. He's a possum.
Oh, is he? Okay. He's standing in a box that says Rogues Gallery. And above that, it says Shooting Gallery. And on the right of that, it says Pitching Gallery. Oh, so I guess it's kind of like a joke. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yes, it is kind of like a joke.
Yeah.
And then next to the Vulture parody, there's another guy there. He's like the bullfrog villain in this book, but is he like a takeoff on the rhino kind of? Or? I'm
not sure.
Because he's got a horned head and everything, but
yeah, I don't know. And there's another guy in the background, but that's just a pedestrian. Oh, it's a kid. There's a kid and a guy and a father, I guess.
Yeah, he's like throwing a ball at the other carnival games. So basically, Spider-Ham's at a carnival fairway there, and but the Rogues Gallery instead of the Pitching Gallery and whatnot. So, yeah. And he's winding up to punch him.
That's right.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good cover. I mean, as funny animals things go. Yeah.
And it's drawn by Armstrong, and the inker here, Albelo.
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Joe Albelo.
Joe. All right. So here we go, Michael. The big splash page. Stanley presents Peter. And then, I like that little because he got a pig, an 8-legged pig, hanging down from Peter Porker.
Right. And we get a completely different Spider-Ham logo here on the splash page. Notice that?
Yeah.
Yep. And then Spider-Ham in of buzzards and bullfrogs. And I guess we're joining the story, on media res or however you pronounce that. He's in the middle of a fight with the Vulture, except he's called, what is he here? Oh, he's Buzzard.
Yeah, probably Buzzard. I know he says it later in the book, but...
So yeah, he's fighting him, and the Buzzard's trying to shake him off, and he's above the suburbs, and he basically just falls. So as they're falling, Spider-Ham webs onto like a street light, swings and, saves himself, but the Buzzard just falls and smashes into the ground. And then, he is called the Buzzard. And then just at that moment, a car comes driving down the road. And then that wakes up J. Jonah Jackal, who's laying in bed.
Yeah, instead of J. Jonah Jameson, J. Jonah Jackal.
Right. And so then, it's actually the police that came. So the police arrive, and it says, Police Supervillain Squad. They come and they arrest the Buzzard, and they throw him into this, metal, like, kind of like a paddy wagon, I guess. Throw him in. And then J. Jonah Jackal's all upset because he was woken up, so he storms outside to see what's going on.
And Michael, do you notice J. Jonah Jackal, in the storyline here, he has a cold, and he was in bed. And you notice in that panel, like the little pill bottles, the Kleenex box, the hot water bottle, they're all living.
They're all living? What do you mean living?
They have arms and legs and eyes and faces.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
You see that?
Yeah, like the little men, like dancing on his like little breakfast in bed little table thing.
Well, if you go down below that, the bottom right corner.
That's right. That's so weird. Like the hot water bottle, the Kleenex box. You're right. They're living.
So strange.
That's very weird. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
So then he peeks outside to see what's going on, and he sees the cops arresting the Buzzard. But then the paperboy comes by just at that minute, throws a rolled up newspaper and hits him in the head, and he's all angry about it because it's their competitor, right? I think so.
Yes, because J. Jonah Jameson and Peter Porker, they work at the Daily Beagle, right?
Right.
Instead of the Daily Bugle.
Right. So then he gets hit in the face with that, and he's all angry. And then just at that moment, Spider-Ham jumps on a city bus to go back home. And then J. Jonah Jackal, he grabs the paper and he looks at it. And he's like, oh, this isn't the Daily Beagle. This is some other filthy rag, a paper I've never heard of before. So now
the Morning Scandal.
The Morning Scandal.
It's like a National Enquirer type magazine. Yeah.
So he wants to go track down the paperboy, right, to give him a piece of his mind. But then he goes to the newsstand, and it turns out that they don't. They stopped carrying the Beagle. Sorry about that. The guy's like, but the public seems to like the new paper better. He's like, better? Did you say better? So now he's got to go to the bottom of this, right? Even though I read this 4 days ago, I don't remember any of this. Anyway, okay, so so he like storms off, and then we catch up with Spider-Ham, and he's swinging to get back. He's on his way to the Daily Beagle, right?
Now, Mike, when he's swinging, Spider-Ham swinging through the city there, that you see a billboard opening soon at the European Theater, the Gangland Follies.
Right.
Do you think that's a play? Is this when those gangland wars were going on in the Spider-Man books? Do you think that's a parody of that?
It could be, but I don't know. I think it's probably something completely different, to be honest.
Sure.
I think so. Like, it's probably like a specific player or movie, I think.
Well, Guys and Dolls would be the thing, but I'm thinking Gangland Follies.
Could be, but I don't know.
I think that's an inside Spider-Man joke. That's something you should ask those kids that do that Spider-Man. Oh, that's you. Wait a minute. You're the one that does that Spider-Man podcast. But I think...
Well, I'll tell you, wait. When did this come out? 85? No,
yeah.
I think this is like 2 years too early.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
not that. But anyway, so Spider-Ham looks down and he sees Hoppity Harrison, alias the nefarious bullfrog. See, now who's this guy supposed to be?
That's what I mean. I don't like. He's the guy on the cover, standing next to the Buzzard in the gallery there, and I'm thinking maybe the Rhino because he's got like horns, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, Daredevil fought Leapfrog, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know. So he's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna follow him. But then we cut over to the Daily Beagle, and we see a character named what's this guy's name?
Because I don't think they ever actually say their names, or if they do.
Yeah, they remember them.
But their names are that's J. Jeremiah Jackal Jr. I guess that's Jonah's son or nephew or something. I don't know. It's a junior, so I don't know. Maybe his brother or something. But anyway, so I'm thinking it's his son. And then we have Benson Bunny and Upton Adams Stray is the black cat with the sunglasses.
Okay.
They are J. Jonah Jackal's junior reporters.
Okay. But they're not specifically based on any Daily Bugle.
Yes, that's what I found very confusing.
Right.
And we'll get to that when we're done with all this. But those are who those three characters are. And I hope you like them because we spend a lot of time with them.
Yes. Oh, boy. So then, so they're kind of, what is it they're arguing about?
I don't even know. Let me go back and look. Okay. I had to go to my notes to get their names. Well, I think...
the Beagle...
Yeah, the kids are playing ball. The bunny and the cat are playing ball in the room, and the Jackal's son there, he's like, "Hey, you kids are fooling around. You should be making money or something." Or I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, well, because then J. Jonah Jackal comes in and he's upset because the Beagle's not being published. It's vanished from every newsstand in the city, so they have to go and investigate and find out what's going on, right?
Yeah, like this bunny, he's real smart, Bunsen Bunny. And he's got glasses. He's a nerdy, and he talks real highfalutin. But he breaks it down. He's like, "Here's how they're beating you, and the ratings there, or the sales there, J. Jonah. They print half truths, innuendo, silverfish. I don't know what that means. Trick photos, bias, cheap ink, flimsy paper, and then there's the cat. I like the cat just because he's a black cat, and I like black cats, Michael.
Me too.
But."
Anyway.
I don't know. That's about it. So yeah, he sends the junior reporters off to go find out what's going on, and that's what they do. And then we cut back to Spider-Ham, and he's watching that frog guy go into a costume place.
Right.
He wants to get his costume fixed up. So Spider-Ham says, he must be planning a job, a criminal job here.
Right.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, and then we cut over to the two reporters, or the three reporters from the Daily Beagle, and they come across this woman who's digging through a garbage can that says Mick Jaguar on it, and she's going through his garbage, right, to find out gossip on him, I think, right?
Yeah, she's one of the reporters at the new Morning Scandal.
Right.
Paper.
And her name is Minxie Byline.
Minxie Byline.
Okay.
And she dresses like a prostitute.
Right. So then she goes off one way and they kind of go off the other, but then they decide to follow her. Like, yeah, we're going to follow her, see what's going on. So they follow her into an alley and then she disappears down a manhole. Then we cut over to Spider-Ham, who's still watching whatever this guy is, and he's got like a banana and like a pop. And so he sees whatever this guy is leave that clothing store. So then Spider-Ham goes to follow him. Meanwhile, we cut back over to the reporters. Now they're they're in like a sewer. They're like crawling through a sewer pipe with a flashlight, right? And they come out and they come across a bunch of people, basically living. What are they doing? Oh no, these are all mannequins, right?
No. They're not people. First of all, they're sewer rats.
Well, yeah, none of these are actual people. They're animals. They're talking.
But they're all like brainwashed sewer rats,
right?
Like, working for the Morning Scandal.
Right.
This is where they make their paper down in the sewers.
Right. So then we cut back to Spider-Ham, and he lost track of that guy he was following. And then he's like, oh, well, maybe he ducked into the subway. So he decides to change back into Peter Porker and go meet up.
Miguel, look when he's changing into Peter Porker there, like the other clothes on the line there.
Yes.
Mouse's pants. And would that be Donald Duck's coat?
I'm not sure whose coat that is, but it's pretty clever there. I like it. Yeah, it's smart. So then he jumps into like a pair of like pants and he puts a shirt on, and now he's walking along. Now he's Peter Porker. He meets up with J. Jonah Jackal, and J. Jonah Jackal convinces him to follow him to figure out what's going on, right?
The one weird thing about Peter Porker, though, is when he's in his pig form, he's got hair.
Yeah.
So does J. Jonah Jackal, but it kind of works for him just because he's a jackal. I don't know if the pig, I wouldn't have designed him with hair. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He looks weird.
Yeah.
That hair.
Well, I don't mind it though.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. So anyway, so now they're gonna go see
Gangland Follies.
Right, they're going to see Gangland Follies, right. So then we cut over to the sewer, and we see that, what's her name, Minxie, has met up with her boss, right?
Yeah, and I guess this guy's kind of looks like Pogo. So what was Pogo? What kind of animal?
He was a possum, wasn't he?
That's what I thought. So, all right,
Yeah.
I guess he's an opossum too then. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I just read this. I don't remember what the hell happened. I don't have any idea.
Well, J. Jonah Jackal and Peter Porker are going to that musical because they know a bunch of celebrities and wealthy people are going to be there. And Jonah says, hey, we can get some stories for the paper, because that seems to be what's selling these days. But then Peter Porker says, oh, rich, wealthy people. That's what the Bullfrog's probably going to go do. He's probably going to go rob those rich, wealthy people at that musical. So he wants to go there to try and catch that Bullfrog guy. So.
Right.
But so when they the three junior reporters, they're down there, they're seeing these automatons, basically these brainwashed sewer rats making this paper. They said, hey, Bunsen Bunny says, hey, J. Jonah Jackal Jr., give me that little pocket watch you're always spinning around. And Bunsen takes it and he tries to dehypnotize the sewer rats. And that's a pretty cool panel. Like when he's dehypnotizing them. Like the big bunny face in the background and the pocket watch in the foreground. And
where is that? What page is that on?
It's on, let's see, page 11, second panel, middle row.
Okay, let's see here.
So,
yeah, that's good. That's some good art. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good panel. And so then, while they're trying to do that, then we cut back up above ground to the Gangland Follies, and Jackal and Peter Porker are waiting in line. And Peter Porker, though, does he have spider sense?
Well, I don't know if he does, but he must. Yeah.
Because it doesn't tingle here, but the bullfrog guy standing right next to him in a trench coat, and then the bullfrog guy throws off his trench coat, and he starts just jumping on people, and I guess he's going to rob them. You know? Oh, right. He wants to rob. They have an Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton parody.
Right.
And he's going to try and steal the diamond ring off of the Elizabeth Taylor. Is she a pig in this?
She looks like some kind of animal, not a pig though. I don't know.
yeah, she has a normal nose. But so he wants to steal her diamond ring. So he's trying to rip the diamond ring off her chubby finger. He can't get it off. And then Peter Porker goes and changes into Spider-Ham to come and save the day. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he basically comes in and he punches that guy.
The bullfrog.
Yeah, the bullfrog, and like knocks him up into the air. I actually we'll talk about the art, but I do like the art, the way it's done. But anyway, and then basically Elizabeth Taylor is all grateful and gives him like a medal that says hero on it.
I think she's a cat.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That could be. Yep. She's got 20
ears in the nose. Yeah.
Right. So then Peter Porker's all happy, but then I actually remember this part. He gets all these guns pulled on him because it turns out that the actors in this Gangland Murders or whatever Follies play are actual gangsters. They were just using the play as a way to disguise to throw the scent off them, but they actually are gangsters. And so they explain their origin and how they're jewel thieves. They break into ritzy hotels, stealing everyone's jewelry, blah blah blah. But then they went to jail, and I guess they came up with a scheme, right, to put on this play.
Yep.
And then did they reveal the thing about the automatons?
Not yet.
Not yet, eh?
But here's a panel though where the Spider-Ham snout is colored yellow.
Yeah, that's weird, eh?
Yeah, like a duck's bill. I don't know what's going on there. But
yeah, clearly a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that happen?
I don't know. Yeah, like how could you get it so wrong? You're right.
Yes.
It's not even the same color as the background. It's just yellow.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
so weird.
There's no yellow used anywhere else in the book.
Right, except for that one panel. Yeah.
Anyway, so the gangsters put the guns up to Spider-Ham and they're about to shoot him and whatnot. And here come the automatons out of the sewer from the manhole cover. And Bunsen Bunny is leading them up to fight all the gangsters now. So we got the sewer rats fighting the gangsters.
Right. We have a big fight scene. Pow, sock, smack. And Peter Porker punches one of them out. And then the Pogo character is with Minxie. He's like, what's going on, Minxie? Those are my workers, aren't they? But what are they doing up here? Don't ask me, Mr. Hedgehog. I work on the editorial end. You're in charge of publishing. And basically, and then the reporters are coming out of the manhole. There's a lot of dialogue here, a lot. And I don't remember what any of it said, but
basically, the Morning Scandal crew, the Possum guy and Minxie, they realized, hey, we got to get out of town here. Our gig is up. They ruined our business here. They found out we were, I don't know, running shady business practices with hypnotized sewer rats. We got to take our business elsewhere. So they're leaving town.
And that's it. They're out. And then Peter Porker's like, huh. Oh yeah. Sorry. Then J. Jonah Jackal's like, he wants a pic. He's like, I'd at least like a picture of these creeps' departure. If not for the Beagle, then for my own personal scrapbook. How come that lazy bozo's never around when I need him? The next time I see him, I'll. And then Peter Porker's like, listen to that jackal. I captured the buzzard, the bullfrog, and a pack of jewel thieves. Yet Jonah winds up with a lower opinion of my real self than he's ever had before. Just like the real Peter Parker, right? And they're like, don't ever dare show my face. Not now. I swear, some days it just doesn't pay to get out of bed. The end. So yeah, just like Peter Parker, right?
That's very much an old Ditko Lee ending to a Spider-Man book.
Absolutely.
And he goes away kicking a can, and he's all sad. So that's it. The book's over. Oh, wait, no, Michael, there's more.
There's the Uncanny X-Bugs backup story.
Yes.
And this is written and drawn by Steve Miller.
I forgot to even research him. I have no idea who he is.
The only thing, actually, I know that Jay Fosgut's a big fan of his. Like, he's got a different style. Like, the other artist is a little bit more straightforward. This is a little bit more, like, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like wackier art stuff. Yeah, wobbly, I guess. Yeah.
It's weird. Loosey-goosey.
Yeah. And so this is an odd story, but basically we see parodies of Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus, and is that supposed to be Storm? Yeah, okay, Storm. So they gather around the parody of Professor X, and Professor X is like brings them to the danger room, but it's not called the danger room, it's called the insectoscope room. And
Professor X is a worm.
Right.
And all the other ones are just, I don't know, I guess they're bugs.
Yeah. And then
look like bugs though, but all right.
Not really, yeah. And then Professor X is talking about their arch enemy, Mosquito, the magnetic mosquito. Wait, no. Oh, Magsquito, the magnetic mosquito. Anyway. And then they go to the X buggy. And keep in mind, these panels are gigantic. They're like 3 panels per page, and there's only a few bubbles per panel. So they all jump into this X buggy, and they're driving down the road, and they go to meet up with Magsquito, and then Professor X tells them to attack. X-Bugs attack. And then it kind of gets violent. We see Wolverine cut Magneto, like slice and dice him like a sausage, and then Nightcrawler like pokes him in the eye and like knocks off like his helmet. Cyclops blasts him, and then Storm like electrocutes him, and then Colossus like smashes him over the head. And then basically he's like, you idiot, and then Magneto is like, you idiots, I've gone straight. I'm in the scrap metal business now. And there's a sign behind him that says Magsquito's junkyard, cash for trash. And so the X-Men feel like idiots. So then Professor X is like, follow me, men, another adventure awaits. And that's it. They just leave.
Yep.
The end.
Pretty terrible.
It's okay. But anyway.
No, it's not okay. It's Hey, of the 2 parodies we've done, Mike, of the X-Men in recent weeks, the Alf one, remember that one? That was great. And then this one, clearly the Alf one's better, right?
Which book was that in? I don't remember.
Alf. It was an Alf.
Oh, it is an Alf, right? Duh. This one, here's the thing is, these are 2 completely different styles. I don't hate the backup story. It's just really off the wall,
It's just not I don't know. When you're building a little story to one joke, that joke better be good.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I'm working in the scrap business now.
The thing is the thing I got to give this book credit for is that I think nowadays, I mean, there are still a lot of comics made for kids by maybe not Marvel but DC, and they are good. But I think this one, even though it's a funny animal book, it's clearly not simplified for kids, right? Like we said, there's a lot of text, and like the artwork is fairly detailed, So that's one thing I like about it.
Yeah, like even though I'm not a huge fan of this art style here in the end, in the backup story there, the X-Men, it's still distinctive and unique.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's you may not like this style, but at least it's like well done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Now, what do you think of the first artist, though? What's his name? Mark Armstrong. Yeah, I think he's a very good artist.
Yeah, let's talk about the creators here. Since you mentioned, we'll do in reverse order. We'll go with the art here. Mark Armstrong. Here's what I found out about him, Michael.
Okay.
He has 7 credits at Marvel. They include that Marvel Tales book where Peter Porker premiered. Then he did Bizarre Adventures issue 31, and then he did issues 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7 of Spider-Ham. And that's what I know about Mark Armstrong. There is nothing else you can find about this guy.
Really?
In fact, I saw, because I was kind of blown away by that, because his art here, like you mentioned, I think it's very good for what it is. Like a cartoony. It's very distinctive style. The lines are strong. It has a the style looked so familiar to me. I could have sworn I'd seen it elsewhere, like in other animations or projects or something. Like, it looked familiar to me. So I'm like, this guy had to do something after this. Like, what's he really known for? And I couldn't find nothing about him. And I eventually found someone put up on their personal blog, like, whatever happened to Mark Armstrong? And they said, does anyone know what he's doing these days? And here Mark Armstrong replied to that guy on his blog. This was just like 6 months ago or something. And Mark Armstrong says, yeah, I gave up comic books a long time ago. In fact, about 6 years ago, my eyes started to get bad. So I thought my days of drawing were done. But I just had some cataract surgery here recently, and I'm doing good. So I might start drawing again.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's nice. But what did he do between 1985 and 2021? Because, like, it seems like he's clearly a talented artist, like, for the style. Like, he should have been doing a bunch of stuff, but I couldn't find anything.
Well, you know what? I bet you if I listened to our episode with Jay Fosgate, he probably knows something that we don't know. There must be more to this guy. Yeah.
I guess, but he, like, doesn't have a Wikipedia page, or he doesn't have... There's a couple of Mark Armstrongs, like, there's an art, but I don't think it's the same Mark Armstrong.
No, yeah, I saw those too. Yeah, completely different art style, like fine art.
So I couldn't find anybody that, lined up with this guy. And so I don't know, but I like his art. Like you said,
me too.
It's well done. It's creative. So yeah, the art here is fine. I have no problem with the art here at all.
I agree. It's great.
Now, the writing. All right.
Steven Skeats.
Steve Skeats. He was born 1943 in Rochester, New York. After college, he sent application letters to... He did this on a whim. I guess he was trying to get a job at a newspaper or whatnot. But then he says, you know what? I'll write to some comic people too. So he sent application letters to 4 major comic book companies in the form of comic book captions of I guess he put up some like comic book pages of I guess he drew them himself. I have no idea. Where he was the hero in the book, and he sent it to 4 different companies, and he got a call from Stan Lee. And Stan Lee said, hey, I'll hire you to be my personal assistant and editor, like a little friend. So he brought this guy in. He's only like, I don't know, 20 or 21, 22. He brought him in to be his personal assistant there. So his job was to proofread. He was supposed to proofread the finished books. All right. So after the books are done, Lee would say, hey, read these, see if there are any mistakes in them. And he lasted at that job for 2 weeks because he was so bad at it that Lee got frustrated that he kept missing so many mistakes, particularly in the art. He wasn't catching the mistakes in the art. So Lee got mad and he said, all right, you're out of here. I want to. So you know who got the job after Skeets?
No, who?
Our boy Roy Thomas.
Really? Roy the boy.
And then Roy became Stan Lee's right-hand man then for years.
Wow.
You know? So if Skeets was better at his job, we may not have Roy Thomas.
Wow. Look how fate works.
But Skeets was, I guess Lee felt bad though, so he let Skeets write some Western comics. So that started him off writing the Western comics. And then he used his brief time as Lee's assistant to get gigs with a bunch of other companies, including Tower. Do you remember Tower Comics?
No, I don't. I don't think so, no.
Charlton, of course. We know Charlton.
I know them, yeah.
And he worked at DC, Gold Key, Red Circle, Archie, and Warren Publishing.
Wow.
So all because he would tell them, hey, I was Stan Lee's assistant. I'm looking for a job. So like, oh, you work for Stan Lee, yeah. So from 1968 to 71, he teamed with Jim Aparo on Aquaman.
Yes, I read those.
Doing issues 40 to 56.
Huh. So
did you like his work on Aquaman?
I did. And in fact, that's one reason I, fell in love with, Silver Age Aquaman or Bronze Age Aquaman. That's why I added him on Facebook.
Oh, no, you're friends on Facebook. You get in arguments with him on Facebook?
Never. He's the only one.
In 1972, he teamed with artist Sergio Argo. How do you say it? Aragones?
I think so. I don't know how to properly pronounce that. Sorry.
We'll be having to learn how to pronounce it soon because Gru is a coming.
All right. Can't wait.
Gru will be coming up soon. But yeah, the guy who did Gru. And they teamed up to do a story called The Poster Plague, and it won the ACBA Shazam Award for Best Humor Story.
Really?
I don't know what ACBA is. Do you know what?
ACAB? I don't think
ACBA. No. I guess American Comic Book Association, maybe? We'll go with that.
I don't know.
In 1973, he won the same award for a story called The Gourmet. This time he teamed up with Bernie Wrightson.
Oh, the Academy of Comic Book Arts. That's what it is.
Ah, there you go. So yeah, for 2 years straight there, he won the Best Humor Story.
That's cool.
In 1972 to 74, he did 10 issues of The Phantom Stranger for DC. Phantom Stranger.
Yeah, good stuff.
76, 77, he did 5 issues of Plastic Man.
Woo! Love me some Plastic Man.
He also did a bunch of House of Mystery, House of Secrets, and Adventure comics.
Done it all.
Did they have a House of Adventure?
I don't know. Did they?
I don't know, but they should have.
No, I don't think so. No, they had Adventure comics.
For DC, yeah. He has 54 credits of Marvel, including the first 7 issues and issue 10 of Spider-Ham. And he did 5 issues of Bizarre Adventures and 5 issues of Crazy Magazine. And he did a bunch of like one-shot deals for other things. But yeah, the Spider-Ham run, 8 issues of Spider-Ham, that's pretty much the most he did at Marvel. Mike L., he also wrote some episodes of G.I. Joe and Transformers and Gem, the animated shows.
You don't say. Then I bet you I've come across those episodes because I've just watched them all again recently, and I own them on Blu-ray. Anyway, actually just DVD.
Even Gem?
Gem, no, but I did buy the box set for Becca.
Yeah, I know.
Has it. But one day maybe I'll buy it for myself.
I remember Becca liked it. All right, he got burned out on comics in the late 80s, and he quit entirely to go be a bartender. How about that?
Really?
Like,
interesting.
I'm done. I'm just going to be a bartender.
Wow.
But just
probably more money bartending anyway.
Probably. But he was only working as a bartender for a few weeks before he got the itch again to create some stuff. So he at least went back to doing some like comic strips from the local newspapers and stuff. And then that got him back. And he did some other comic things after that. And he's been working right up until today, I guess. Still
cool.
Stuff like that. And in 2012, he won the Bill Finger Award for excellence in comic book writing.
Oh, he deserves it.
Well, maybe not for this issue. But there he is, Steve Skeats. I think the most interesting thing there is the whole Stan Lee assistant and Roy Thomas, Roy the boy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Everything worked out, I guess. Because, again, if Skeats is a better proofreader, maybe Roy doesn't become Stan Lee's buddy, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, for this issue, though, I did not like much of this.
Well,
I don't know. Here's my main problem, Michael. This is issue 2 of Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. I want to spend time with Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, not 3 other dudes running around.
Yeah.
Like, what was going on here?
You know what? I think, from what I remember, this might have been my criticism of number 1, is I want to see a parody of Spider-Man. Yes. I don't want to see some other funny animal story with Spider-Ham just stuck in there, right? Like, I want to see a parody of Aunt May and, Mary Jane and all of that, right? Like, that's what it should be, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, like, even when Spider-Ham does stuff, like, he beats the buzzard there at the beginning of the book, but he does nothing. He just swings to a lamppost and the buzzard falls and hits the ground. Then when he beats Bullfrog, he punches him once, and that's it. It's like, what? There's, like, nothing. Spider-Ham does nothing. Basically.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I just did not like any of this. And then even like the writing, if you want to read any of this, I don't know, but if you go into like his internal dialogues with Spider-Ham, he's just describing what he's doing and why he has to do it. I guess it's for kids and stuff. I get that, but it could have been, better ways to do it than to just describe what he's doing in the panels and everything. I don't know. I didn't like any of this, Michael. Not a goddamn look of it. Nothing.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd like to know what a kid thinks of it. I'd like to know if a kid read this, if they enjoyed it.
And from what I can tell, Michael, that the Benson Bunny and the cat and the J. Jonah Jackal Jr., this issue's their first appearances. Were they in that first issue that you read?
Well, I guess not. I don't remember, no.
Yeah, because on Marvel Fandom, the page, it said that this was their first appearances, but did anything in this book set them up as characters, really?
I don't think so, no.
No, it's like did you join in? Like, we should know who these people are, and I had no idea who they were. Mm-hmm. Like, I swear they didn't mention their names, really, except for the one, the Jackal Jr. Like, I guess Benson Bunny's mentioned, but I don't remember them mentioning the cat's name anywhere. So that's why I had to, like, look them up to see what their names were and, like, who they were. I had no fucking idea. And, I don't know. Yeah, this was not good. This is not what I expected Peter Porker. Like, I had never read Peter Porker.
Okay.
Like, had you read the books in your younger days? Did you?
No, I probably read like 1 or 2 issues. That's it. And then I saw him in What the,
Yeah, I think I read him in What the, and if I remember, because they did a parody of, like, Craven's Last Hunt in What the.
Exactly.
And I think that was just a straightforward Spider-Man parody with Spider-Man as a pig.
Right.
But so that's what I was expecting in this, and this is not that at all.
No, it's not quite that, is it? No.
This is like exactly what you said. It's just like an animal book with Peter Porker thrown in once in a while.
Right.
And it's like,
right.
oh.
That's a problem.
This sucks. Yeah. I did not like
I'm not going to say it sucks, but it's not what I want. It's not what I want.
Yeah, it's not good. Would you read more of this?
I mean, maybe. I wouldn't run to read more, but I'd walk to read more. You know?
There's no way I would read more.
Okay.
That X-Bugs thing really knocked the wind out of me, too. So, yeah, this was not enjoyable for me.
Sorry to hear that. And to make it even to make matters worse, he wasn't even in the new Spider-Man movie.
I know. The only reason I picked it, and he's not even in the.
Yeah.
Are you sure he's not in? Maybe go watch it again. He's got to be in there somewhere.
100% positive.
But wait, you're telling me J. Jonah Jackal wasn't in there either?
No, he was not. Sorry.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. So I can't give this more than a 3. Because the art's interesting. I like the style of the art. The art's kind of cool. But the writing and the basic concept of this book is very wrong. So I can't give it more than a 3. I'm
going to say because the art's so good, I got to give it at least a 5 because the art is really good.
I can understand that, yeah. But for me, it really hurt me. So,
all right.
Yeah. All right, so there it is, Peter Porker. And at times like this, Mike, I was going to say maybe I regret being a vegan because I could like kill Peter Porker, but no, I'm glad I'm a vegan because I don't have to handle him.
Okay.
All right. But all right, Michael. Next week. Hey, is next week Jankuary?
That's right. It's Jankuary. We're going to have Kevin Jank on the show 4 weeks in a row, right? Is that how it's going to work?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And Michael, I don't know if you noticed. I think you saw this on Twitter, but Jank got me a lovely Christmas present.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
He got me 4 comic books. I think you saw the book I tweeted out, maybe. But it's a comic book called Black Diamond.
Okay.
And it's a comic, and I will be picking this the next time I get a book. But it stars Sybil Danning. You don't know who Sybil Danning is?
No, I have no idea who the hell that is.
She's a very buxom actress from the 70s and 80s.
Oh, really?
And she was in a lot of terrible movies.
Okay. And she's in
I'm
this
a big
comic
fan.
book?
Wait, there's a comic book based on her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of hers, and Jank sent me the comic book. I had no idea this comic book existed. And so, so when Jank is on next week, it's your pick. But the next week after that, we're doing Black Diamond. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
So, but for next week, when Jank comes on, what are we doing?
Well, so I made a deal with Jank, and I said I will pick one of his appearances on my week, and he can pick another, right? So to celebrate my pick, and because we're having Kevin Jank on, I thought we'll go DC.
What?
We'll go obscure, and we'll go with Booster Gold #1 from 1986.
You understand Jank hates DC, right?
That's good. That's fine. This one's going to win him over. He's not going to hate DC after this. Trust me.
Booster Gold.
Booster Gold. You ever heard of Booster Gold?
I have heard of him, and I've encountered him once or twice. I think I've seen him in some like DC animated shows.
Yeah, he's definitely been in. He was in Justice League Unlimited and Batman Brave and the Bold.
Now, what year did you say this is?
This is February 1986.
That's going to be tough.
This is basically the first new superhero of this era. Blue Devil might have been first, but Booster Gold's right up there. So, this is the new DC. As they said at the time, there's no stopping us now. We're going to find out why next week, okay?
No stopping us now. We've got Booster Gold.
Yeah. Booster Gold leading the fray.
Is DC working on a Booster Gold movie?
I hope so. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up one of these days. You'll see.
Hey, Michael, by the way, we mentioned the Spider movie there at the beginning, but I don't know. I didn't ask you thumbs up or thumbs down. Did you like the movie?
I give yes. I mean, the last 2/3 of the movie are good. The first third is just okay. And overall, it was pretty good. It was very emotional. So, yeah, I liked it.
Very emotional?
Yeah, you'll see.
Well, I think I hear tell another one of my favorite ladies ends poorly.
I can't say. I can neither confirm nor deny that. But
right.
You see the movie. But anyway,
that seems like a terrible decision to me. Like, why would they would do that? Because it's like, I don't know. If what happens, what I think happens, why would they do that? Okay, why would they?
You have to see the movie to find out, right?
And it seems like a poor decision.
They gotta sell some tickets. Anyway, but my mind is on Booster Gold. I've already forgotten about Spider-Man. Never mind Spider-Man. I don't care how much money it's making. Okay.
Booster Gold. Yeah. You just sent me the link. I'm looking at his costume. Good lord.
Yeah, it's great. Read this as a kid.
It's a costume with a collar.
Yeah, sure. And you'll see why. It's all explained. Well, maybe not in this issue, but a future one. But I'm sure you want to read them all when you're done reading this one.
Oh, so. Yes. I'll go through the whole run of Booster Gold. All
Don't worry, there's only, 25 issues. Anyway, so yeah, be sure to join us next week and every week at Flea Market Fantasy. You can find all of our episodes on Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts under Comic Book Syndicate. You can also follow the Syndicate on Twitter, YouTube, what did I miss there? Oh, Facebook, and the Comic Book Syndicate website. Each week we review a different Bronze Age comic. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks, sometimes Kevin Jank picks. So be sure to join us every week, like I said, and until next Tuesday, disperse!